Hello everyone, how are you all? I hope all of you are doing really well. Welcome back to my session on legal updates again. I hope you have been revising all the previous legal updates that we discussed in our previous sessions. So very quickly, let's start with today's topic of discussion. First one is Punchi Commission. Assuming that you would have heard about it, at least in the newspaper by now, very much into discussion these days. A lot of people talking about it, and government has got a new attention on it. Right now, what is it all about? Firstly, commission. Right. So, why such commissions are being set? Who sets it? So there can be a lot of questions with regard to that. So basically, depending on the requirement, any ministry of the central government or even state government, they can constitute a commission for any particular purpose that they feel requires some amount of research, right? Some amount of study in the real time. And that is why Punchi Commission was also constituted, and who was heading it? Our former Chief Justice of India, that is Madan Mohan Punchi, right? It was constituted in 2007, and finally the report was submitted on 2010. What was it mainly talking about, researching about? They were mostly doing an intensive study with regard to the relation of governance between the state and the center. So, we are a federal structure. We are a federal democracy, quasi-federal democracy, but we need to settle some balance between the center and the state, right? And that is where this study came into picture. Now, recently, government has started taking the recommendation of the Punchi a bit seriously. They have started considering it. However, when the report was submitted, then also few of the suggestions were implemented. But now it has taken even more seriously, right? So since it has come into discussion, since it is a topic which is being covered too much by the newspaper and the news articles, so it becomes important for us also. However, do not get very much deeper into the concept. Why? Because such topics may lead you to very deep understanding, a very deep concept, and very deep texts. So do not get into that, otherwise you'll be lost, right? You'll lose the track of the preparation. So it's better we'll only focus on those areas which are having some chances of appearing in our paper in December, right? So first one is with regard to the recommendations on the governor. So the commission had certain recommendation with regard to it. Like, for example, they recommended that a governor should be someone who should be from outside the state, right? Should not be from the state, so as to ensure that he or she is not involved in any regional politics, right? That is first one. Second is with regard to their doctrine of pleasures. You would have come across such words by now, right? That such and such office works, or they have a tenure as per the pleasure of the governor, as per the pleasure of the president, right? These kind of wordings you would have come across by now. So that is what the Punchi Commission has targeted, and they are recommending it to repeal, right? Then comes with regard to their nomination, wherein Punchi Commission suggests, they recommend that Chief Minister should be taken into confidence. Other than that, certain recommendation have been made with regard to their tenure in order to guarantee their tenure, right? So certain provision with regard to impeachment have also been recommended. Other than that, some other recommendations also made, which is not very important. Just know that these are the areas in which they have recommended, and these are certain provisions in the constitution. That's all, right? Like, for example, Article 355 and 356, with regard to that also recommendation has been made in order to limit their misuse. I would like you to comment it down below about Article 355 and 356. I would like to know whether you know about Article 355 or 356 even by now. By now means it's been April now, and high time that you must be aware of these articles, right? Very simple articles, but very important articles. Then they have a certain recommendation with regard to interstate council also, with regard to the notice that should be served to the state when a president uses its veto power. And one of the recommendation is with regard to the federal structure, which is very interesting. So, wherein the Punchi Commission has recommended that when there is any subject matter which belongs to the state list, when such matter is taken up at the international forum, yeah, for the negotiation, maybe for some treaty, for some convention, any kind of agreement, any kind of commitment. In such case, we should try to restrict unions participation there, and we should try to direct states participation in some way, right? So that is also an interesting thing. That will be an interesting thing if government takes it up and do something about it, right? Now, next is very important, because every now and then you would keep reading about this particular constitutional body, that is Election Commission, a very high power body, already constitutional body, that is instituted under Article 324 of the Constitution. Very important. Almost every year it becomes an important area to take care of, right? Now, why has it come into news now? It has been a topic of discussion because recently Supreme Court has ruled that a high power committee should be constituted for the appointment of the Chief Election Commissioner and election commissioners. And who should constitute that high power committee? So it should be Prime Minister, a leader of opposition in Lok Sabha, and Chief Justice of India. Now, talking about the Election Commission, this is where I want you to pay a bit more attention, right? Article important, Article 324. Function is important, function of Election Commission. What are the functions? First, Election Commission means, of course, they have something to do with the election, right? So conducting election of 4 bodies, okay? Not all of them, but only 4 bodies. What are they? First is Parliament, second is state legislature, third is President, and fourth is Vice President. Hence, they only take care of these 4 bodies for the conduction of election. Other than that, they are responsible for preparation of the electoral rolls. Electoral roll means what? So basically, understand it like a document wherein all the information of the voters of the country are mentioned or maintained, right? Okay, moving on to the composition of Election Commission, again an important part. Election Commission basically currently includes 1 Chief Election Commissioner and 2 election commissioners, right? They are appointed by the President, wherein Chief Election Commissioner is regarded as chairman of the Election Commission. Not only that, there is another body, that is regional commissioners. They are also appointed by President, but only when it is required, it is necessary in a particular state. They are not a part of Election Commission as such, but they're appointed by the President for the purpose of election whenever required. And the service and the tenure of election commissioners and the regional commissioners, all of them are decided by the President whenever, however required, right? Now the question arises, Chief Election Commissioner and election commissioners, what are the difference? So basically there's no difference except for one, and that is only the chairmanship, right? Otherwise, other than the chairmanship, Chief Election Commissioner and election commissioners, all of them are at equal level. They are at par in the pedestal, right? No matter be it salary, be it tenure, be it benefits, be it allowances, right? All of them remains same for both of these bodies. It's just that there has to be one body who should be given some chairmanship, right? That is what is Chief Election Commissioners. Think of it like a class monitor, right? In a class, all of you are same, but there would be one class monitor, right? So what is his or her job? Just to chair it, right? Just to take part whenever it would be required for the class, right? That is what is Chief Election Commissioner. And mostly it is there to ensure that a majority can be formed in case any decision has to be taken. Suppose a decision has to be taken wherein both the election commissioners are of opposite view. One says yes, other says no. There has to be someone who should be there to give the final decision, right? And that is what is Chief Election Commissioner there, right? So he plays a role of getting the majority also. Now, Supreme Court has given certain rulings, right? So what has it talked about? First is it has Supreme Court has ruled that the appointment process through which election commissioners are appointed, it should be at par with how CBI directors are appointed. That is first. Second is with regard to their removal, wherein the court says that their removal should be in such a way as that of parliamentary process, right? Wherein there should not be any protection of tenure that should be given to the election commissioners, right? So that is what the court has basically ruled. Next legal update for today is with regard to the FCRA license. So the license of CPR has been suspended. FCRA license of CPR has been suspended recently. Now, talking about CPR, talking about FCRA, that's what we are going to look into. FCRA means Foreign Contribution Regulation Act. As the words suggest here, Foreign Contribution Regulation Act means any contribution which has been received by a body in our country from foreign, right? Such contribution, such donation, such grant, such money has to be regulated. And for that, we have a law called as FCRA, right? Other than that, they basically give license to the organization, to the bodies who are willing to receive any contribution from the other country, right? Monetary contribution. So one of them was CPR, Center for Policy Research. That is a think tank, actually, think tank of the government. So they had the license, FCRA license. However, it got cancelled. It's not cancelled, suspended. So now, why got suspended and all of that stuff? Not very important. I mean, that is a story, of course, important, but not very important. What are we going to focus here is law, right? The legal aspect of it. So FCRA basically takes care of the money that is entering into our country, right? Through in a form of contribution, in a form of donation, in a form of grant to any NGO or any body, right? For certain specific purpose that the act has specified. We'll talk about it, right? So that is what FCRA is all about, wherein FCRA needs to ensure that or keep a check on how such money is being utilized. Now, ma'am, why is it important? Why do we need to look at money, right? NGO is taking money. Why are we so much concerned about it? Because when money is coming from some other country, our country or our economy can get vulnerable in that case, right? That if we do not keep a check on it. What if there are certain countries, enemy countries, right? And they just keep pumping money in our economy. That will be a complete mess in that case, right? Our RBI, SEBI, none of that would be able to control our economy. And that is why it becomes very important to keep a check of all the money, because at the end of the day, RBI has to maintain certain balance sheet, right? Wherein both the sides need to be at least, if not completely equal, but at least near to equal, correct? So that is why FCRA plays a very important role in that case. FCRA license, FCRA law I'm talking about. Other than that, to whom FCRA can grant license, right? So anybody, any individual, any association, any organization, which is working on, say, cultural or economic or educational, religious, social programs, right? Look at these words, very important. These are the keywords here, right? So these are the only areas where FCRA can provide registration. There are certain requirements that a particular NGO or an individual who wishes to receive donation from the other country, they need to follow. What are those requirements? First and foremost is they need to get themselves registered with FCRA, right? Registration has to be done. That, okay, you such and such authority, the person will go tell the authority that, listen, sir, I want to receive such donation for, say, midday meal purpose, right? I want to donate for midday meal. I am conducting certain midday meal programs, and that is why I need certain donation. I'm getting it from some foreign national, right? So such registration of the NGO has to be done. That is first. Second is they need to open a bank account in SBI Bank, that is State Bank of India, in Delhi branch. Okay, not any other branch, but there's only one branch in which they can open it, and that is only Delhi branch. Okay, now you may ask, ma'am, what is the reason why only one branch? They are making it so difficult. Now, a person from Tamil Nadu will go to Delhi. Yes, if you want to receive donation from other country, in that case, you'll have to open a bank account in Delhi SBI. Right now, what is the reason? It is only to ensure that an effective and efficient checking of or tracing of all the transaction can be done at just one place, and it would remove a lot of chances of misuse, right? And fraud also, and a lot of misuse basically. Other than that, and very important is, if an NGO has taken money for, say, uh, educational purpose, right? In that case, such NGO cannot go and invest that money or utilize that money for some religious purpose or for some cultural purpose or for some economic purpose or some social program. No. The reason why you have taken the money, you have to utilize that money only for that reason, right? You cannot go beyond that. You cannot distort from your purpose there, right? Otherwise, it would be illegal. So that is very crystal and clear. I hope you got that understanding. Other than that, we have next news, that is with regard to the protection officers for domestic violence cases. So there is this scheme, you would have heard about it, Mission Shakti, right? And under Mission Shakti, this mission or this program was initiated in furtherance of a particular law. What was the law? Law was with regard to the domestic violence, right? Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act 2005. So in pursuance of that, Mission Shakti was made, not completely in pursuance of that, but at least you can say parallel to that. So under this act, a protection officer has to be appointed for domestic violence cases, right? Protection officer means the officer that is there to protect women. So we are going to get into the act, the law first. What does the law talk about? First and foremost is that it gives a definition of domestic violence that is important. Means domestic violence includes what? It includes physical violence, it includes emotional violence, verbal violence, sexual violence, and psychological violence as well. So either of them, right? If either of them is there in a particular case, that would amount to domestic violence. Another point is, which is very important here, is that under this law, if there is any case that is filed, right, that case would not be a criminal case, but that would be a civil case. And since it would be a civil case, only a protection order can be pronounced. There cannot be any criminal enforcement. Note it down. This is very important. You may get confused here. These are the kind of areas wherein you can be tricked in a question, right? So it is there only for, they can give only protection orders and not criminal enforcement. Means they cannot initiate any criminal trial there, because under this act, such official, they do not have that power under the act, right? So under this act, only civil law can be taken up, no criminal law. And in pursuance to the civil law, only protection orders can be pronounced, right? So Mission Shakti, so basically Mission Shakti is there only for, they are for the women's safety, for women empowerment, for the security of women, and all those important areas related to women. And under this only, protection officers they used to be appointed, right? So yes, that would be it from my side on this session, guys. If you have any question, any query, if you need any help from my side with regard to your strategy, with regard to your preparation, with regard to concept, with regard to any section, right? Just let me know in the comment section below. That will help me in helping you out, right? So please put it in the comment section below. Other than that, I have asked you one question in this session. I would like to hear the answer from you in the comment section for that also, right? So I'll keep coming up with these sessions regularly, and I wish you all the best. And remember, I'm here to guide you in the right direction. It's just that you need to put a question before me so that I can give you an answer right? And help you out that way. So yes, that would be it. Thank you so much. See you in the next session.